Hi. So in this video, let's continue kind of where we left off last time. All we had done last time was set up our UI. We could open the stickers panel. We could close with the X button. Let's do the part where we actually place stickers onto our screen now. So to start, let us create a new game object for that. It's going to be an empty game object. For just sanity's sake, I'm going to set it to 000, but really it could be anywhere in the world. I will rename this to sticker manager, because this class, this game object is going to be the one that is tasked with managing the stickers, where they're placed. When we start adding the scaling and erasing features, it's going to be helping with those as well. But we'll start with the simple part, which is just adding the stickers onto the scene. I'll go into scripts and make a new script called sticker manager. And once it loads, let's just start by making some variables that we need. I don't think I'm going to need the start function for this, so I'm just going to delete that. I will make a serialized field, which is going to be an array of game objects that is going to be all the sticker prefabs. So we have a bunch of stickers. Easiest way is to put them in an array. And again, later on, if we add the functionality for, adding more stickers, you can just expand on this array. So I'm going to make a private game object. We're going to put these two square brackets, which makes it, tells the tells the IDE that it is an array, and I'll call it sticker prefabs. I think there should be serialized field. I need a variable to track the current sticker that we have selected. This does not need to be a serialized field, but just so we can see it in the inspector while testing, I'm going to make it one. It's going to be an int, and I'll just call it selected sticker index. So this is going to represent whatever sticker we have selected. And really, our goal is whenever we left click, we need to figure out where we left clicked. And then based on that, we need to be able to put our sticker there. So if you remember with our previous project, what we had to do was get the mouse position, get where the mouse was hitting the world, and then we would move our character accordingly, right? In this case, we need to get that mouse position where it's hitting the world whenever we left click. So to keep our code organized, I'm just going to make these things into functions. I'm going to have a function, I'll call it void place sticker at mouse. And I'm going to have a helper function that's just going to get the world position from the mouse. And it's going to return a vector 3. So when we call this function, it'll give us back that world position as a vector 3. So instead of void, it's going to be vector 3. And actually this place sticker as mouse. Also, it should be private. If you don't write private, things default to private anyway, but it's just good practice to get into. So this is going to be a vector 3 get mouse world position. So this is just a helper function that's going to get the mouse's current world position. So first we have to get the screen position of the mouse, which we can get as a vector 3. I'll call it mouse screen. And we can do that using mouse.current.position.read value. This is the same as we did last time. And then we get the world position from that screen position. I'll call it mouse world. And that is going to be from the camera main screen to world point. It asks us from where, and we want to do it from the mouse screen position. So we're just taking the mouse's screen space position, converting it into world space position. We can zero out the Z value, right? It doesn't really matter where in the Z value we put it. We just want to put it in front of the background. So I'm just going to make the mouse world.z equals -1 because the background is going to be at 0. all our stickers can be placed in front of the background, and then we can use the overlay property later on if we want to have stickers go one on top of the other. And then finally, we just want to return the mouse world position. Awesome. Before we even get to this place sticker at mouse, let's just, call it in the update function. So if we left click, and again, this is the same as we did in the previous project where when we left click, we restarted the game, right? So if mouse dot current dot left button, in the previous project, I had done read value, and we rationalized that read value is 0 when we don't click it. When we click it, it's 1. And when it's 1, that means, if it's greater than 0, the read value, that means it's been clicked, right? The problem with it in this game, or in this experience, is that read value is going to be 1 as long as I'm holding the mouse button down. So I don't want that to be the case, right? I don't want people to just hold the mouse button and draw their stickers. Maybe for your type of toy, that is what you want. But that's not in this case. So instead of read value, we can do was pressed this frame. So that is only going to be called the frame that it was pressed, which is, how I want my stickers to work. I want them to keep clicking to add more stickers. So if it was pressed this frame, then I want to place sticker at mouse. And then in our place sticker at mouse, we first want to get our mouse's world position. So I'm going to say vector3 mouse world, and that's equal to the get mouse world position. We want to make a new game object. I'll call it prefab. And it's going to be equal to the sticker prefabs of our current selected index. So selected sticker index. And finally, we are going to instantiate the game object that we're going to instantiate. That's going to be the prefab. Oops, that's going to be the prefab. What position are we going to instantiate it in? Well, that's going to be mouse world. And finally, what is the rotation? It's just going to be 0, 0, 0 for now. So that's going to be quaternion dot identity. And with that, we can go back to our Unity. Make sure sticker manager is selected. Let us add the sticker manager script to it now. And if we see the sticker manager script, we have our two things. We have the selected index, and then we have our sticker prefabs. If we open this down, currently you can see it says list is empty. We can add new elements to this array by hitting this plus button. Or right next to the name of it, there's a number here. That's the size. So I know I have 6 stickers. I'm going to add 6 stickers. And I'm just going to start dragging my prefabs in here one by one. Now, one thing just to kind of keep in mind as you're also doing this is make sure that in this case, again, it might be different for your application, but in this case, I just want to make sure that my stickers that I see here are in the same order as the stickers here. That's just going to make it easier later on when we assign these buttons to, the sticker indexes. So anyway, I'm just going to drag these in here. And right now, when we play this, our script says when we hit left mouse button, it's going to get the mouse's world position, and it's going to place that, it's going to spawn that sticker on that mouse position. Our sticker index just defaults to 0, which is going to be this cat 2 sticker, this little cat with the chocolate and hearts. Let's see that working. So I click it, and it places it. If I change the sticker index to 2, you can see that it places it as well. Awesome. So we have like the basic part of our script working, right? The other thing we need to do really is connect it to these buttons, which we'll do now. But before we do that, there are a few kind of sanity checks that we should do. This is the script works, but it's going to break if, for example, the selected index is more than what the array has, right? If we select an index, like my array is 6 elements long, if for some reason the index was at 7, when it tries to get this, it's going to give us an error, right? So we just need to add some code, some if statements basically, to kind of check if that's true. And if it's true, we don't want to place the stickers. We just kind of want to ignore it running all this code. So one thing I want to do, I want to check if the sticker prefabs is equal to null. Basically, have we even added anything to the sticker prefabs array? Because if it's empty, well, we don't want to run anything, right? If it's null, or what if we in the inspector gave it a length of in the inspector we gave it like a length of 0. So for example, or a length of 1, I should say. So for example, we had, imagine all of these are empty, but we had this element 0 and it was just set to none. So we just want to check both. We want to check if the sticker prefabs is none, or if the sticker prefabs dot length is 0. If either of these are true, let's just return the function. We don't want to run it. We also want to check if our selected sticker index is less than 0, because you cannot have a negative sticker index, or if our selected sticker index is greater than or equal to the sticker prefabs dot length. So we're just checking here. If we have given it a negative sticker index by chance, that should not happen. Or if our sticker index is too big, it is not contained within the array. So again, these are just 2 lines we've added. I know when we're making this, and you probably also feel it when you're making your app, you're never going to set the sticker index to something beyond the length. You're never going to set it to a negative number. But this line just adds like a little sanity check. So if it does happen, we don't just crash the entire program, right? The other thing, I want to check real quick is before we instantiate the prefab, again, in that situation where I have made my array and the array has a size 6, but I didn't assign a prefab to like say element number 5. So that prefab is null. So when we set this prefab game object, before we instantiate it, we just want to check if prefab is null. And we will return. So that way it doesn't try and spawn a null game object and we get an error. And those are some good sanity checks to have there. It just kind of makes it so, our code doesn't crash for some reason when it shouldn't have. Okay, so let's continue with the next part, which is now to get my stickers to select, to have these buttons select the sticker that I'm using. So I'm going to go back to my script and we'll make a new function for that. This is a function that the buttons, the sticker buttons, are going to call. So it's going to be a public function. And I'll call it, it's going to return void, and I'll call it set current sticker. And it's going to be take an int. That's going to be the new index of the array. All this is going to do is it's going to set the selected sticker index to the new index. This is also where we want to perform that sanity check, right? Like if our new index is greater than or equal to our sticker prefab dot length, we just want to return it. So we're not like running it again. If I pass, in my case, if I pass a return, if I pass something like 7, my stickers array is only 6 long. So if I pass 7, we shouldn't set it, right? Because that's going to cause the rest of it to crash. Again, this one line just kind of keeps our code a little safer. So we need to go back into Unity. And in our canvas, I'm going to go into our panel, and we have all the stickers here, right? So I can shift select all of them, and I can add an event to the on click. I can drag in the sticker manager because that is where the function is, and I can set it to this, where is it? Set current sticker. We can see it takes an integer. If I click it, now you can see next under the function name, there's a number there. This is the input that this button is going to pass into the function. So I know cat2 is 0, cat1 is going to be 1, this is going to be 2, 3, 4, and 5. And also, I noticed when we tried it before, these stickers are too big, so I'm just going to reduce the size to like 0.3 or something. And now that should work, right? We have these buttons, they set it to it, so let's see if that works. So right now I'm placing sticker 0, click stickers, select a new sticker, can close out, and now look, I'm placing the stars. If I come in here, select this duck, now I'm placing the duck, I'm placing the coffee cup, and now I'm placing the other duck. So all our buttons work. There is one last issue that we just kind of need to solve here, and that is when I click anywhere, the stickers spawn, which is great. But when I click the stickers panel, if you notice, the stickers are still spawning. In fact, when I'm clicking on these UI panels, the sticker is still spawning. When I click on this duck to select it, the stickers are still spawning. So that's another thing we need to deal with. Really, that's a simple thing to deal with. We just need to check if our mouse is over some UI element. And then if it is, we don't want to place a sticker there. Unity has something called an event system. When you added this canvas in here, when we added our object, it also added this event system. And you can see this event system says input system UI module. So this is an event system for UI inputs. In fact, this is where that on-click event and stuff, this is where it runs through. So we just need to check if this event system, if our mouse is over something, and Unity provides us with a function for that. So in our update, before we even check if we can place a sticker at the mouse, we are actually, before we add this, we are going to say using Unity engine dot event system, because that's what tells us if the mouse is over a UI object or not. And we're going to check. We're going to check if event system dot current, so the current event system, is pointer over game object. Well, if it is, return. Now when I hit play, I can drag this thing around, I can hit stickers, I can select the stickers, and we see that it's not placing any stickers. But if I go off of it, it starts placing stickers. So now our UI just feels a little better because it's not also interacting with the game world at the same time. The last little thing I want to do is just to make my app feel a little nicer. When we select a sticker, I just want to close this panel. And to do that, I could, I could get a reference to that panel here, the overlay panel, and turn it off. But a good rule of thumb in programming is we don't want to write the same function over again, right? So I already have this close panel function in the overlay controller. I'm just gonna I'm just gonna use that directly. So instead of getting a reference to the UI panel itself, I'm just gonna get a reference to the overlay controller script. Overlay controller. And we will call it overlay controller with a lowercase o. And really all I need to do is, if we've selected a sticker, just say overlay controller dot close panel. And now this is good because now this overlay controller becomes the only script that knows whether, our sticker overlay is open or close it. It's the only thing that knows about its state. We're not mixing and matching. And, if a bug had popped up on this specific issue, we don't have to look at many scripts to be like, why is this happening? It's clearly going to be in the overlay controller because it is what knows the current state of that overlay panel. So a good rule of thumb is if you find yourself needing to repeat a function, in this case it would have been this close panel function, see if we can minimize that, see if we can put it into one place and call it from there. That will just help make our code a little stronger, and more importantly, it's going to make it easier to debug when we do something like that. And so with that, let's see if that worked. Hit stickers, select a sticker, I think I know what I made a mistake of. I forgot to set the overlay controller here. Let's try that again. Stickers. When I select the sticker, the overlay panel closes. And I think, again, this just makes using the application a little nicer. Okay, and that's really it for this part. We have like the basics working. We got the basics of the UI. We saw how we can use it in script, and we started placing our stickers. There's still a few things that we want to do. Namely, right now, I'm just spawning these stickers. I'm not keeping track of them, and we want to start keeping track of our stickers. We're going to store them in a separate array, in a separate special type of array called a list. And so as we have more stickers, we'll be able to keep track of them. And this is going to let us do a few things, right? Maybe later on I want to add a functionality to move my stickers around. Well, I should be able to reference them, right? I should be able to know which sticker is where. In our case, I'm going to add a sticker limit so we can't put too many stickers, and keeping track of the number of stickers is going to help with that, right? It's going to help with us say I can put 10 stickers. When I put down the 11th sticker, I should delete the oldest sticker so that, our user can still keep clicking, but it's not going to overload the system. We're going to be deleting stickers. We need to keep track of all the stickers we place for that. That's one thing we got to do, as well as we got to add some little feedback, right? We've got to be able to, I'm going to have a little particle effect and a sound effect play when we put the sticker so it feels nicer. We also have to get this erase button working and the scale slider working. So there's a few things left to do, but this is the basic groundwork of the app, where we're using an array to kind of hold all these prefabs. These buttons let us select between the prefabs, and we're using a very similar concept to the previous project, where all we're doing is just getting the mouse position and spawning the sticker on it. Thank you guys for watching.